What's up?
Yes, sir.
How y'all doing?
Well enough.
Well enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Did you guys have a good weekend?
It was stressful, but yeah.
Is it less stressful or more stressful?
Less stressful, I want to say, but I don't know.
Why would it be less stressful?
Just because everyone's doing finals, so we finally have like 2 or 3 weeks to work on something instead of like doing it in 3 days. So that's nice.
Yeah. I like how you ask that as if it's a question. Like, that's nice. It's yes, I would agree. It is nice. I always enjoy this time of the year or time of the semester. Can finally get caught up on grading. Oh.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing, Will?
I'm doing good.
Good. Somebody got some yappy dogs?
Oh, sorry.
Is that your dogs?
Yes, sir.
What kind of dogs you got?
Yorkshire Terriers, the little ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like a cat. She's just like quiet. Only when the doorbell goes and she'll start barking.
Yeah. The Will just run away. Corey, how you doing?
I'm going okay. I split open my thumb.
That's gross. How'd you do that?
I was cutting an apple. Thought it was an apple.
Thought your thumb was an apple?
Yeah, I thought it was a part of the apple.
Your thumb was not part of the apple.
Clearly it wasn't.
How deep did you go?
Not too bad, but it's like I clearly struck the nerve
Yeah.
because I like that, just that feeling you get when you do that. But
Yeah.
it's like I mean, it closed up almost immediately, so it's not bad. It's just awkward situation when like trying to like type an essay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what are we doing today?
I think you were gonna demo the IKFK hand.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Let's do that. Are we recording? Yes, we are. All right. I'll just leave the awkward, weird shit in the beginning. Okay. So, IKFK. So let's just go ahead and start off with some jointage. We go make a quick little spine to build off of. There we go. Now we can see. All right. Let's go ahead and do, so this will be like, say, the top spine. Go ahead and pull off a center chest joint. So that'll be this one. And from that, I'm going to go ahead and go over here. We're going to do shoulder, elbow, wrist, null, and let's just say the character has a little bit of bend in the wrist, or elbow, I mean, so something like that. A lot of times when I'm doing, I'm sure you guys have seen in the videos, a lot of times I go back and retrace my joints. Reason why is it gives me really nice orientation, so the same axis is pointing down the joint chain at all times. So when I'm dealing with non-cardinally directed limbs, like say arms or legs, a lot of times I will go through and just retrace it. So what I usually will do is I'll start off with, let's say, the center chest joint, snap, 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 and snap. And then this is what I'll actually end up rigging with, okay? So I'm just gonna pull that off real quick, delete the original, and then put this back into its original position. I don't necessarily need this center chest joint that I just traced, so I can get rid of it. And I'm just gonna go and take this shoulder. And oh yeah, I need my clavicle too, forgot. Let's add in a clavicle. Let's put the clavicle right here. All right, so we'll just put the clavicle there. So anyway, I go ahead and parent in. all of this. So that's going to be my arm joint system. I'm going to click on this joint. If you don't want to do the retracing, you can always go under Skin Orient Joints, and that will automatically orient your joints to where they're all pointing down the joint chain as well. Sometimes I'll run into some issues where it doesn't do a very good job, but usually it's pretty good about reorienting everything. All right, so in order for us to have a good IKFK system, we need to make sure that we're naming everything properly. So I'm going to go ahead and name this one skin. Let's do, yeah, skin, shoulder, joint, skin, elbow, joint, wrist, skin wrist, skin wrist joint, and then this will be the skin null joint. And then I will need to go in and duplicate these arms twice. And then what I'm going to do is go through and grab, let's do this joint chain, modify, search and replace. And I'm going to look for skin and replace it with IK. Make sure it goes all the way down. Yeah, so this one didn't get replaced because skin actually was capitalized. And that does mark it as being different. And this one was also capitalized. Okay. All right. Let's do it again. Let's do search and replace. FK. Apply. And then capitalize it. Apply, see if it works. Cool. Yep. All right. So this will be a finger joint. So we can kind of keep track of like where the fingers actually would go. So that is going to go right here. We'll do this, 2 of these. Search and replace, joint, finger, place. Move this off. And both of these are going to go to the null. And that's going to be on the skin. Okay. So this would be whatever you're, skinning your fingers to. Yep. So I'm going to reorient that one real quick. Skeleton, orient, it should be good. All right. So in order to go ahead and start showing or doing the parentage here, let's finish naming these real quick. Clavicle, joint, center chest, joint, root joint, spine 1, spine 2, spine top, There we go. All right, so there's our outliner so far. Okay, so let me go ahead and put in the Orient parents. So I'm going to go and grab them by parents, parent 1, parent 2, and then child. That's my selection order. So mom, dad, child, constrain, orient, maintain offset, add. We got an orient constraint. Mom, dad, child. And I would do this in the same order every time, because that means when it shows up at the orient constraint, you basically don't have to really think about it. You can just select them when you're setting your set-driven keys. And those are really the only three we got to do. So again, mom, dad, child, mom, dad, child, mom, dad, child. And so now we have our orient constraints set up right here. If we do this properly, the child will move 1/2 value of both parents. So awesome. Okay. At this point, we can go ahead and move this back to the child. So we're going to move them back there. And I'm going to go ahead and go to my IK, create IK handle. And we're going to do the IK handle for this. It's going to be a rotate plane solver. And let's do IK shoulder to IK wrist. Let's do it this way. Come on. There we go. All right. Check and make sure that works. Yes. All right, cool. Angel, is that email something I need to address?
No, not right now.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get, let's see, do I have that? No, okay, screw it. Let's go and create nerves primitives circle. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and create my controllers. So I would like to keep my orientations for all of these controllers. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this controller, group it to itself immediately. So this is gonna have an offset group. And we'll name this one IK wrist con. And then the group is going to be IK wrist con offset group. Okay. This guy is going to, I'm going to duplicate him real quick so I can have another one to work with. Then I'm going to take this one and snap it over to the wrist joint. And I'm going to go ahead and orientate it using the group to match the orientation of the joint as best as I can. So that will work. And if you want to differentiate this maybe just a little bit from the circles that we're going to have for the IK or the FK. There we go. That can be our IK handle, our IK controller. So this one is going to be, we're going to do clavicle, shoulder, elbow, wrist. So we're going to go create, do another one. Another one, so yes. So that's going to be our clavcon offset group. Rename this to clav clavcon. FK shoulder. FK shoulder. FK elbow offset. FK con. FK elbow con. FK wrist offset. FK wrist con. Okay. All right, so let's go and start moving these in. So the clavicle, oh, whoops, misname. That one definitely should not be. I accidentally named the IK one. IK wrist con offset. IK wrist con, okay. I'll make the clavicle in a second. All right, so this guy, grabbing the offset group again, FK. Let's snap it up to the shoulder. Elbow. It's going to go to the elbow. Wrist. It's going to go to the wrist. Duplicate that one. And that's going to go over to here. Okay. So let's go ahead and take this, not this controller, we need to take that offset group. I'm going to rotate this to the side, and I'm going to scale it up a little bit, uniformly, of course. So it'll stick out of the clavicle area. We'll take the controller for the shoulder. I'm just going to rotate it, orientating down the joint. Do the same thing for the elbow. So we'll rotate it. So something like that. And so I'm kind of using, keeping the same axes each time. So Z-axis is kind of the one that's bisecting the joint along with the X-axis, Z and X, and then Z and X. So it's just trying to keep the same axis each time. Remember, do not rotate the actual controller. We're only using the groups. Okay. So something like that. Okay. So again, with these controllers, I'm following the natural flow of the arm. Not trying to bisect the mesh or anything. Really, these would just be ringing around the mesh itself. And then, so let's go ahead and kind of organize each one of these. So the wrist is going to go under the elbow controller. The elbow offset is going to go under the shoulder. The shoulder is going to go under the clavicle. So now these are all nested together, and these will be able to be moved as such. See that right there? So that's good. And let's go ahead and put in our Orient constraints for each controller to its respective joint. So clavicle joint, from clavicle controller to clavicle joint. That is going to be a Orient constraint. Shoulder, FK shoulder controller. This is going to go only to the FK shoulder joint. So this one right here. Elbow, FK elbow controller is going to go to the FK elbow joint. And then wrist is going to go to the FK elbow, or sorry, FK wrist joint. So just like that. All right, let's double check, make sure it's all working. Looks like it's working. Looks good. Perfect. Looks good. Okay. This controller right here, we are going to connect to the IK handle. So RISCON, IK RESCON to IK handle. That is going to be a point constraint. And then the IK handle to IK wrist joint, very important. That is going to be an Orient constraint. So that works. Now, finger controllers, those are going to be okay, let me go back. Okay, we'll make a couple of these. So these seem to trip you guys up quite a bit. They do not go under FK, they do not go under IK. These controllers are actually going to be linked directly to the null, okay, the skinning null specifically. So finger offset 1, I'm going to take that. Let's move him over here. Finger offset 2. Finger offset 3. Going to rotate them to their respective positions. Also, I'm going to scale them down a bit. So I clicked on this controller. I'm jumping it up to its offset group to move it. So somewhere right about there. This one, let's move it maybe right about here. And then this one, you know, if we had the mesh here, probably the mesh should be bunching up a little bit. So I could, you know, honestly just leave it there. Or I can move it up to there. Just kind of wherever it doesn't clip through the mesh too much, but whatever works best. And then you're going to take the offset groups and nest them under their parents. And so you'd be doing the other fingers as well, just the same exact way as this one. So we could probably just duplicate that. And probably will snap over, yeah, looks good. So then I would take both of these offset groups, finger, con, offset. And that would get basically parent constrained under the null right here. So it would follow that null controller or that null joint. So take this offset, and then that's going to go skinning null. It's going to follow that one. So skinning null is going to be the parent. Finger con offset's going to be the child. And we're going to do
What?
yeah. Parent. Sorry, was there a question? Is there a question, guys? No?
I don't think there was, just like background noise probably.
Okay. All right. All right, so yes, did I get that? Yep, so that's there. Okay. And then controller to joint. It's gonna be an orient, 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 orient. Done. Ta-da. Okay. Let's do pole vector. So pole vector, I'm going to go ahead and grab the IK shoulder, IK wrist, and pole vector. Oh, I need to get the IK handle. Why does it not give me the pole vector? Oh, right, no, sorry. I'm farting today. I gotta have my controller, don't I? All right, so let's just make a little controller for the pole vector elbow. We're going to freeze transformations. Elbow. Con. And then we're going to do IK handle, controller. It's going to be constrain, pole vector. No. Controller, IK handle, pole vector. There we go. Only 75 times trying this. All right, so we got that. All right, so effectively, the IK, FK arms are both working. We just need to make the switch. So the switch, we can make a little controller. I'm gonna go put it over on the null. Usually you'll see it like either above the wrist or kind of behind the wrist. I wouldn't do it like out here or down here, simply because you'll probably like close the fist and you don't want to close it over the IK FK switch. And then this kind of gets in the way of the thumb. Oh, excuse me. So either above or behind is usually a pretty safe place for it.
Does that controller need to be an offset group as well?
Not really, no. You're literally just gonna be parenting it to the null. So no.
Okay.
It doesn't need to. All right, modify, freeze transformations. IKFK switch. Skin null. IKFK switch. Constrain parent. Double check. Yes, it follows. Excellent. All right, IKFK switch. I'm going to go to edit, add attribute, IKFK. Just let it be a float. Minimum is going to be 0. Maximum is going to be 1. Add. So we got it right here. Get your set driven key window up. Yeah. Key. Set driven key. Set. I think the window looks a little different in 2020 versus 2018. So this is 2020 what I'm using now, but it's pretty much the same thing. Okay. Driver is going to be obviously the switch. Driven is going to be the orient constraints on your skin joints, not your IK, not your FK. Okay, so for me, value of 0 is going to be IK. Value of 1 is going to be FK. It really doesn't matter which is which, just as long as you keep it the same. So since I did the same selection order every single time I created the original orient constraints, you'll notice that FK and IK are in the same order under each one of these. So FKIK, FKIK, FKIK. So that'll make it a little bit easier for me to go through and do this. So value of 0, I want IK in control. So that means that FK should be turned off. So that's going to be set to 0. I'm going to go through each one of these and set it to 0. And that's going to be in the orient constraint, just turning off FK. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab under driven. Each one of these, I'm going to go and grab FKIK key, FKIK key, FKIK key. You got to get both of them. You can't just get one. Got to get both of them. All right, then I'm going to go over to my controller, switch it from 0 to 1. I'm going to go back, grab each one of these constraints, and I'm just going to flip my values. 1 to 0 and 0 to 1. 0 to 1, 1 to 0. 0 to 1, 1 to 0. All right. Key, key, key. All right. So let's test it. So if I pick up the arm, the wrist, or the skinning joints should not follow because it is set to FK. Just like that. If I switch it to IK, you'll see that now the IK control system makes this follow. Sweet. All right, so that's a switch. Let's go ahead and also have this control the visibility. Because otherwise, you know, having all these controllers floating around if you're not using them gets a little confusing. So what I want to do is instead of driven being the orient constraints, I'm going to have driven be these controller visibilities. So I'm going to go and load them as the drivens. And visibility is going to be what I'm setting for each one of these. Okay. So IK is on now. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and go to IK wristcon. So we're good there. Elbows should be on right now, which is good. FK wrist for those should be visible turned off. So I just selected all three of these, clicked visible, went over here and turned it off. So that's great. We're going to do that. Click all of these, make sure visibility is clicked for all these since that's what we're setting. Click key, boom, done. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and switch my value from 0 to 1. Oh no, I don't have any controllers, so I need to turn those back on. Shoulder, elbow, wrist, visibility. Turn that on, but now I need to get rid of this. So elbow con and wrist con, these two. I'm going to turn visibility off on them, okay? Grab all of these again, visibility, key. So now, when I go in, I can switch back and forth. And you'll see that it is functional. Let's save that. IKFK switch example 4/21/2020. Okay. All right. And just like everything else, you need to make sure you're organizing all of your wonderful stuff. So controllers. We're going to put that all into a group. On grop, that's not it. Group. Joints, group. Done. All right. Make sure all this zeroes back out. And for each one of these controllers, you know, I'm not really moving these, like translating them. So I really should go in and probably lock and hide. Remember, we always want to lock and hide any attributes that are not going to be in use. And these certainly will not be in use because these are just Orient constraints. So lock and hide. And yeah.
So to translate all of what you did on the other side, I know you can translate the controllers, like you can mirror them, but can you mirror the joints and everything else too?
You can mirror joints. So like if you grab your chest joint, there's a mirror joints option right here. Yeah, so you can do that. All right.
And you would duplicate special for the controllers, right? And then just reconnect them. Okay, cool.
You group them to a central group and then just duplicate special over. I would do that probably before you start trying to hook everything up. Like get your controllers in position, but I wouldn't hook them up to any of the joints if you were gonna. Like at this point, I wouldn't necessarily try to duplicate special or like that. I would have done that a few steps back.
Before
I would probably be doing this concurrently. Like I would do one side and then the other. Then I would be going back and forth.
Right.
With arms. So, okay.